Hi everyone, it's Amy Brookes of the Intuitive Rising here with your weekly collective guidance. This is for the second full week of 2022, January 10th to the 16th. I haven't done this in a few weeks here because I have been channeling weekly guidance over on the podcast that I co-host with my dear friend Erin. So if you're somebody that regularly looks forward to these weekly guidance, and I don't regularly post them, I'm going to try. I'm going to go with the nudge. So when I feel a nudge to do more guidance on top of what I've done in the podcast, then I'll do so. But just if you're somebody that regularly likes to tune into the weekly guidance, head on over to wherever you listen to podcasts. We also have a YouTube account so that you can view us talking like this. So that's called Soul Rising, and all of those links are on my social media for you. If you can't find a link, just send me a DM and I will send it to you. So for this week, felt guided to give you some extra guidance on top of what came through on the podcast on Friday. And I was guided to use my tarot deck today. So we've got two cards and they're both saying the same thing, essentially. So this is definitely something that us as a collective will be feeling, probably a little amped up. So this, because both of these cards have a very similar message, this is very important for us this week and likely very, very relevant to our week this week. First card that comes up is the Four of Swords. Okay, so the Swords is all about our thoughts, our mindset, and our communication. So it's usually something to do with our own inner voice or inner conflict when the swords come up. And the four is all about foundation and stability. So what this card is telling us is that we are essentially burnt out, is what I'm feeling wants to come through with this card. There is a focus on rest and recuperation and healing, and as well self-care, replenishment, all of these things. So this feels like a heavy week energetically. I also know quite a few people in my circle, not in my family, but in my circle, that are not feeling well this week. And so we've got that too. That's tied in. I feel like it's tied into a little bit of our health, our actual physical health, as well as our mental and our spiritual health. Okay, so we're really being asked to take a break, take it as easy as possible this week, to just really focus on what it is you need to do to get by. Because you are completely drained, my friend. So this card is asking you to really focus on priorities this week. When we feel stress, it arises from the sense of urgency. So we feel like something is urgent in some way, like I must make this decision, I must act on this, and it makes us feel stressed out, or other people place those expectations on us, and we feel stressed out because perhaps we're not in the right place to make that decision or to make that move. So stress really arises from this feeling of urgency. This week, we are being asked to go inwards, to rest and rejuvenate and heal and, all of those things. And so it's the opposite of urgency. So whatever is causing you stress this week that you can control and manage yourself, please, work on your priorities. Ask yourself if you've got a lot on your plate this week, or you perceive that you have a lot on your plate this week, ask yourself as you're going through kind of like your daily task or your daily priorities, is this a urgent matter? Can this wait for a few days? Can this wait till next week? Is this urgent? Okay, because we're really in this nitty gritty where I would think that most of the things, other than going to our jobs and feeding our families and making sure our kids are taken care of and that kind of stuff, other than that, I would feel like not much is a priority to a soul level this week. So, the housework can wait, within reason, obviously. Any big projects, any of that stuff on the go, ask yourself, is this urgent? And actually listen to what your inner wants to say, not what your head voice is telling you, like, yeah, you gotta do this because somebody's gonna be mad about it, blah, blah, blah. Like, what does your actual inner voice say to you, your inner knowing? A lot of the times, and I am guilty of this too, but a lot of the times we make things worse in our own minds than it actually is. So we think somebody's going to be really upset at us, and more often than not, they're not going to be. So just keep that in mind as well. Self-care, and guard your energy. So boundaries too. So if somebody's just kind of like at you, or triggering you, whatever it is, just step away, back away. Not this week. The next card that comes up for us is the Eight of Pentacles. And now this does come in reverse, so just a little bit of a heads up for us. The Eight represents, kind of like a rebirth in a way, perfecting something. And the Pentacles are all about our material, like finances, money, our material possessions, things like that. And so this card is really just making me feel, it really supports this card because it's really making me feel as if we kind of are just over it. Like we're tired. Even the things that we previously would enjoy, like something that we're working on at work, or a plan that we had with a friend, or like whatever it is, we're kind of just like, no. So there's a sense of almost like disinterest, or doing things half-hearted because of the disinterest. So there might be a feeling of haste, is a word that I interpreted that came through earlier. And haste, is that sense of urgency. So it's that stress, it's that sense of urgency that we might be doing things a little bit hasty. Or cutting corners, right? Just because we want to finish, we want to get it off our plate because we are tired. So this is kind of asking you like, well, instead of cutting corners or doing something half-hearted, could you put that off for another week or a couple days until you start to feel your energy come back? This is really a time to spend. It's not even, if it's encouragement, but it feels a bit more heavy-handed than encouragement. It feels like, please take care of yourself. Please tell that little ego self that's telling you, you must, what will people think, just to shove it this week. Please take care of yourself and rest. I'm sure that you have had this experience before. I know I have, but I know when I'm feeling this way, when I'm kind of like half-hearted about something, you're not putting out your best when you're in that energy and in that mindset. You're not giving your best. And, I know that most of us, if not all of us, want to give from our best. Like that's where personal fulfillment comes from, when we are like, like I put everything in that and that felt good. So if you're starting to feel like things are just not moving, things are stagnant, things are getting frustrated, and you're starting to feel not like yourself, it is a sign that you are needing some rest. Okay, and I don't just mean like sleep rest. That's a huge thing this week. And yes, we should be trying to go to bed earlier if we can. And just like taking it easy a little bit. But rest is also, giving yourself permission to do what's best for you. So rest could be, because you got to think about like mental rest too, right? So if you're beating yourself up thinking that you should be working out or like whatever it is, and you're just like, I don't know if I've got it in me. Give yourself permission to listen to yourself without judgments. Apologies about screaming kids upstairs. We're doing virtual learning. I had to sneak this video in really quick. So That's my signal that it's time to go. But I wanted to give that to you. Take good care of your mind, body, and soul this week. Do whatever you can to provide love and care for yourself this week. It feels like heavy-handed encouragement to rest when you can, to say no if something's not urgent, to give yourself permission to rest. Take good care. Bye.